NASA, you may think of rockets, rovers, and astronauts. But did you know that NASA is home to the largest group of Earth scientists in the world? As we celebrate our home planet on our 53rd Earth Day, we want to bring in John Haynes, the program manager for NASA's Health and Air Quality Applications, to discuss some of the changes we face. Good morning, John.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, and happy Earth Day to you and everyone across the Queen City.
Yeah, gotta love that, right? I love Earth Day. Of course, very passionate about our planet, our sustainability, our eco-friendly nature. So on this Earth Day, I want to talk about all of the great things that NASA is doing. So you guys have a fleet of more than 25 satellites and numerous other methods to monitor the globe. What is that teaching us about our planet?
Well, like you said, when most people think of NASA, they think, rightfully so, of our missions to the moon and to Mars and the James Webb Space Telescope. But the planet that we study the most of any of them is our home planet, Earth, our precious planet that we live on. And we, from our unique vantage point in space, both on orbit and on the International Space Station, we're getting a wealth of information on the Earth and how it is changing. We're getting information on our oceans, our ice caps, our land, and our atmosphere. And all that information not only is teaching us how climate change is impacting the planet, but also providing a lot of information to managers and forecasters and policymakers right here in the United States.
Recently, it has seemed like extreme or what I would consider unique weather events have become so much more frequent. So what is this telling us, like you said, not just about our planet, but about climate change?
Yeah, for the first time this past year, the UN's climate change report actually included a section on extreme weather and showing that how human emitted greenhouse gases are leading to more extreme weather events across the world. And, it seems like you just can't turn on the news each week without seeing another, as you said, unique event. Maybe it was last week 2 feet of rain falling in one day in Fort Lauderdale, or maybe it's an issue of longer, more intense wildfires in the western United States. So we're being able to observe these events from, again, our unique vantage point on orbit, being able to look at issues of heavy precipitation through one of our satellites across the globe. Also looking at issues of sea level rise, which is really important. Our satellites have detected that sea levels rising about 4 millimeters per year, just far higher than in the previous century. And that might not sound like a lot, but for every 2.5 centimeters that sea level rises, we lose about 8 feet of beachfront property, and that's certainly an issue, for example, in the Outer Banks. And then you add that on top of hurricane storm surges, which make them more extreme. So these are all things that we have to be concerned about, but we're learning about from our satellites.
So how is this data captured by NASA used to eventually help us in our local communities?
Absolutely. That's the best part of my job, is taking all this treasure trove of NASA satellite data and tools and bringing them into the hands of people who make management, forecast, and policy decisions across the nation and across the world. For example, we partner with the EPA, particularly in Research Triangle Park in North Carolina, using our air quality data from our satellites to help them better understand air pollution across the United States. We recently partnered with the National Weather Service in Puerto Rico to develop a system where they can now have 3 days of advance warning for incoming Saharan dust storms, which is very important not only to air quality, but also to public health. On the West Coast, we partner with U.S. Forest Service to help detect where wildfires are and how they are spreading. And that's really important, being able to detect wildfires from orbit, because particularly in remote areas, which are very inaccessible, so they know where to bring firefighting capabilities to bear.
John, thank you so much for being with us today, and happy Earth Day to you.
Thank you, and happy Earth Day to you as well.
Wake Up Charlotte Weekend. We'll be right back.